No, Jigglypuff from above.
Jigglypuff from above. I am going to go with Alolan Electrode. I know it's not real. I'm going with Hisuian Electrode.
I like Alolan Electrode. We'll make that up.
Let's see the final. Who is that Pokemon?
Oh, Solosis.
I was even gonna make that joke.
They knew
on.
I was gonna guess that, and they did. There was a great plush of that, by the way, in the Pokemon Center.
Oh yeah,
super good
hey,
this time around.
Check out the Pokemon Center, maybe even during this break, because when we come back, it will be more Pokemon Unite here at NAIC.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pokemon Unite Championship Series. We are live here in Nolens for NAIC, one of the biggest events for Pokemon of the year and one of the biggest for Unite. This is the final stretch. One final world slot being awarded this weekend, and it already was, to Revelation, who are playing out of their minds. But in front of us, we have the two-time champions against one of the best teams to ever play the game, Peru Unite. This could be and should be our best matchup of the day. Source? Trust me, bro. It's going to be huge. My Italian is not that bad. You actually get to hold that side.
Let's do that again.
Yeah. Source? Trust me, bro. This is how good we are. We realized in real time we did a bad job. I am Jake, your resident content cowboy, yeet to the ha, joined by the only
the only Dupe Snacks, and this is the finals. It's the end of the day. We're not even running out of steam, and you know what? If I didn't already roll my sleeves up twice, I would have done it again, because clearly I'm working solo out here, carrying all the weight on these broad shoulders, baby. Big matchup.
Yes.
Peru, of course, would love to take down Luminosity Gaming and get themselves another IC trophy. They won EUIC last year. NAIC is just a perfect complement to that trophy on their shelf. Luminosity, though, you know what they're looking for? Every single IC trophy in one single season, something that hasn't been done in any of the games.
That's right. They are looking for the Infinity Gauntlet of trophies, and if any team's going to do it, it would be Luminosity Gaming. Winning LAIC at the start of the year, winning EUIC. Guess who they played? Peru Unite in the grand finals. Here they are in the semifinals, trying to dispatch them once again. Word on the street is Peru is playing even better than they were at EUIC. Specifically, that was told to me by Luminosity.
Correct.
They said they are looking good. better than EUIC. This could be our toughest competition of the entire tournament. Now, of course, they would have to win this, head to the grand finals, take down Revelation, who are maybe on the greatest hot streak of all time, but Peru is right in front of them right now. They went 3-1, excuse me, at EUIC against them.
Yeah, I kind of want to put a pin in that because we're talking about a team that has reminded me a lot of Tuzi from LAIC, who was on an absolute tear through the second day. However, when they showed up to the next day, they faced an LG that was ready to go, and it kind of felt like some of that momentum and some of that steam that they had fallen off overnight. And I really hope, for the sake of our viewers at home and for us that are going to be casting the game, that we keep that positive, upbeat, rock and roll energy that they've got so we can have a good matchup tomorrow. But today, we got to figure out who's actually going to be playing against Revelation. And like you said, we've got two titans in the game easily for the last, since the game started. I was going to say the last 4 years, but let's from the beginning.
Yes.
These two are absolute amazing teams, and I really want to see them show down.
Fully agree with you. These are some of the best to ever play the game. Of course, you have the champs. You know them. You know LG. And if you've been watching, I assume you know Peru. Well, you're going to get to know them a little bit better because we're going to throw it up to the main stage for a head-to-head interview. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Spraggles and Doobsnacks. Here we are, folks. We have Zinus from Peru, Overlord from Luminosity. Now, as we mentioned, this is the run back at EUIC, but in the semi-finals. Now, Zinus, what would it mean to you to be able to get a run back on Luminosity and take the win this time?
Después de lo que pasó en NAIC, como la venganza, por así decirlo. Me sentiría muy bien, de hecho, porque creo que ellos son los favoritos a ganar y por los que han ganado muchos torneos anteriores, y pues es una alegría en sí, si es que lo logramos. It would mean a lot. Of course, Luminosity are the favorites, and they have been working so hard, and it could mean a lot for them to finally win against Luminosity.
Now, thank you so much, Zinus. Overlord, obviously you are coming here, LAIC champ, EUIC champ. What would it mean to you and the team to also make it to the grand finals a step closer to becoming NAIC champ as well?
I mean, yeah, it'd obviously be massive for us. Probably be the first and maybe only team ever to possibly win all 3 ICs in 1 year. It's definitely an accomplishment that all 5 of us really, really want, to have under our belts. So we're really prepared, and I think we're pretty confident.
I feel like you're just trying to hoard all the trophies from all of the teams, aren't you? Want all the trophies for themselves. Now, before we head on into this semi-finals match, is there anything that you would like to say to Overlord personally? Any positive words, or maybe you have something else to say? I mean, obviously, friendly banter.
¿Hay algunas palabras amigables que le quieras decir a Overlord antes del partido? Lo daremos todo y sé que podremos ganar. That they are going for the win.
They are going for the win. What do you think about that, Overlord? Do you have anything else that you'd like to say to Zinus and Peru here?
Good luck.
Good luck. Keep it short, simple, and sweet. But once again, can we give it to Zinus and Peru? Let's hear that crowd. And over to Overlord and Luminosity. Well, good luck to the both of you. We'll let you take your places. Let's send it back to the casters.
Thank you very much, Kello. Obviously, a face-off between 2 titans in the game. This is going to be exciting. Good luck. You're going to need it. He didn't add that you're going to need it, but I felt that you're going to need it there.
It was in his eyes.
Yeah.
It was in his eyes. Overlord has done a lot of those interviews and thrown a lot of different energy out into the ether, right? And really played it subtle, but we knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
Good luck, you're going to need it because we're going to beat you very, very badly to the best of our ability,
Yes.
is what his eyes were saying. In fact, closer to good than bad. I don't know when I'm going to use this card, but just...
I'm going to use this card every time I make a mistake. I just want to show Zoinks right here. That's 0 KOs, okay? 0 points scored, 1 assist. I'm also on this card as Alchemy, and I did better than this.
I am on that card as Slowbro and did worse.
I don't think so. Honestly, it was hard. It was hard to do worse.
I was laning with him?
No, here we go. All right, take him. Take him.
Unfortunately for him, he can't take them all.
Can't
still
get
got
them
it.
all. We still have some of them. And in front of you, we
that
still
was a great
have...
throw. Did you see that throw?
It was legendary.
It was a very good throw.
Incredible. You should see my kicks. In front of you, we have, again, possibly the best match of the day. Without question, I think the run back everybody wanted to see. You could easily see this as the grand final. Luminosity, Peru unite. Either team that moves forward, I would say, is heavily favored against Revelation. There is a question mark as to whether or not they're going to show up tomorrow being the superstar team that they are today. Right now on the greatest hot streak of all time, that could be stopped by one of these two greats. I don't know who's more favored in this matchup. I think the easy money is on Luminosity Gaming, but Peru Unite is one of the strongest teams. They're so aggressive. Their support is so good. You talk about this a lot, their support core on Peru Unite. Not only do they have amazing carries, but man, they can back it up with their support and defender.
Yeah, whether it's them felicitating. That's not a word.
You can
facilitating engagements, or mostly it's not even facilitating the engagements. It's mostly saving Tempo and Anemo whenever they decide to just come unglued and just like, I'm going for it all. Draken and Kea always there to help out.
Yeah, I feel like Tempo and Anemo are limit testing every single match,
game, yeah.
and they have this amazing safety net parachute in their support and defender cores. We're getting ready. This is our first draft here of our semifinals. This is a best of five, which these teams are used to. Hit me with that 5 again.
5.
Let me see. Look how good he is. Hit me with a 4. Oh, that did take a second.
I almost went 5. But my brain said 5 fingers is not 4 fingers, and he asked you, show me a 4.
He crushed it.
Bang.
First pick over to Luminosity. They're grabbing Suicune. Suicune, one of the best things in the game right now. Otter could be the player using this. You could also see this in the bottom path on someone like Curios.
Yep.
But as a support, running the EXP share on this Pokemon, you still get all the value out of the stuns and the slows and the freezes, and you are able to power up your team with the best item in the game. It's a real win-win.
It definitely is, and the fact that it keeps your draft open, especially in this first position, is important, right? It allows you to be at least a little reactionary without committing too heavily, and Overlord on Blaziken is something for me, Be Still My Heart, and Curios, again, grabbing Armarouge, who is having, Armarouge specifically, is having a great showing this weekend, to the point where it's starting to earn bans.
Yeah, I think Armarouge is having the revelation of Pokemon weekends, right? Just really crushing it all over the place. And then, of course, we have Blaziken. This is a Pokemon that I think we expected was going to do very, very well, and it is delivering. On the other side, Lapras, sort of that premier defender pick that felt like it crawled its way into the meta right around regionals, and of course, Psyduck, the most difficult thing to deal with, it feels like, in the entire game.
I mean, you talk about Revelation specifically, using Psyduck to a lot of phenomenal value this weekend. Where is Trainer going to go? They go with Zoroark, and they're going to be putting tons of pressure on top of Peru with that Pokemon. Zarina going to be looking to contend and battle up front and scrap as best as it can. And Anemo, who's going to round this out with a Ceruledge.
Interesting. I mean, when I look at Zoroark, there are 2 questions on my mind. Without Comfey, how viable will this be? And question number 2, how many times will I call this Zeraora accidentally in a match?
4.
Let me see the fingers.
Bang.
He nailed it. We're not on camera, but I can tell you at home, he hit it immediately. This man, I could tell him to put 3 fingers up, and I bet he'd hit it. He did.
The sound effects went with me actually doing the action as we are now no longer on screen. I'm sure people would like for us to talk about the game, but numbers is important to us.
Yeah, numbers are extremely important, and extremely important to these 2 squads as well. For Luminosity, it's going to be number of trophies. For Peru, it's going to be number of times beating LG. So far, that's a 0 this season.
That's a low number.
You're holding up 0 fingers.
Bang. nailed it again. Kid's on fire. How do we think about this Ceruledge? We have seen some phenomenal games out of it, and then, you know, this is where Peru, like, what do you think Peru is trying to counter with Ceruledge? Usually that's where you lean with your gut or pick, is to try and counter or, you know, find a way to combat what the enemy team has put together. Where do you think Ceruledge might slot in?
Well, you know, it's got one of the best unites in the game, but you have to hit it. It's not like a Charizard unite where you're guaranteed to be taking them up into the sky and doing some serious damage. That Ceruledge unite hits could be massive. It misses. It feels like this Pokemon loses a ton of value, but you're going to see it in the hands of one of the best teams in the game as we get ready here in our semifinals. Luminosity Gaming, your purple team. Peru Unite, your orange team, as we're getting this thing started.
Blaziken, Suicune in a path feels difficult. It feels real tough to play into. And when you have just a bounce Sui on the other side with a Psyduck, it still feels like you're taking the L on that exchange. We'll see how it actually works out in practice, as tons of pressure is being put on Kea. Pop in the headache as the Psyduck, which is actually buying them enough time to retreat and at least be safe for now.
Nice. They were able to get that secure. I mean, we have Luminosity being very aggressive right here. We're going to see if Overlord can get out of this, able to peel away from this crazy fight. The pressure from Luminosity Gaming this top path has been incredible. Another great secure by Otter right there.
I mean, Suicune is the best thing going for a reason. Not only is it great in phenomenal players' hands, but, you know, we said it was nerfed, but not really. You know, it clearly doesn't feel like it, not this weekend, and here comes Trainer.
And we can see Trainer coming up to the top path right here. The picture-in-picture shows us a fight in the bottom path, but those are some easy scores for Luminosity. The Evolution, Combustion's on the field. Dupsex is currently retching, and here comes the Ceruledge.
Stepping up, but not willing to engage. Overlord might have found themselves on the chopping block, but at what cost? And Peru says we're not willing to make that exchange or engage right there.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here from LG. Moving forward right now, seeing if they can pick up a KO on this Psyduck, getting aggressive enough to grab another stack for Overlord. The Blaze Kick is not able to pull Psyduck away, but they are able to get all this experience. Back up to score once again. Another 2 points for Luminosity, another stack on Blaziken.
Moving forward is this Luminosity team. They're moving forward as a collective, right? They're understanding the rotations the Trainer needs to make, and then using that and kind of using their momentum of them sweeping in to push, push, push. Is this going to be any different, as we have Kyrios holding it down in the face of 3, and all of Luminosity is looking to try to adjust to make sure that they can support their teammate. Here comes Slash leading the charge.
Yeah, we got 4 members of Peru down here, but it doesn't look like they were able to do too much. Tempo now level 6 on this arena, so the fights are going to get better and better for Peru. But look at this in the top path. Goals at 3. They're keeping it up so that they're able to get all of the experience between these two goal zones. 4 members fighting on this bottom goal zone. They are going to be able to score, put some points in. Here comes Trainer.
Oh, come on. The big fire spin around Kyrios prevents more scoring from going in, gets them just enough time for Trainer to engage, and forcing Peru Unite to retreat.
99-44. Overlord decides to break in the top path and then head and grab experience on the side of the map for Peru. Meanwhile, we're fighting here in the bottom path. 4 members of Luminosity. We do have Zarina making their way top to try to stop Overlord, but it looks like it's going to be too little too late. 5 seconds now until the Reggie spawn in the top and bottom path.
Well, it looks like Peru's going to do a heavy rotation, go 3v2 top. No, they're switching gears. Zarina's rolling downstairs. We have Mew creeping in. Mew, a great secure option, but barely eked out by Trainer, and that was real close.
Really close there from Zinus. Solar Beam not able to make it happen. In the top path, it's going to be very difficult for Peru to do anything. With Overlord as Blaziken near this objective, it's just so incredibly tough. Looking to get a KO instead of getting the objective right away. Taking down Psyduck, heading right back up. Almost level 10 right now on Blaziken.
I look at Luminosity Gaming, and one of the strongest parts of their games is being able to weather the storm of player mismatches, right? We just saw 4v2, 3v1s, and then the fact that they can do that means that they can stress the other side of the map, and it makes you feel hopeless. Because you're like, if I can't get it done 4v2, how am I supposed to get it done 4v4, 5v4? And things just feel out of touch, out of reach. Luminosity Gaming looking really good.
Yeah, Luminosity absolutely has their foot on the gas right now, and they are crushing crushing it. Big time Ceruledge Unite, but only clips one. Solar Beam doesn't get anything done. Armarouge Unite misses everything because the Pokemon is already knocked out. Luminosity now peeling away. I was wondering how Zoroark was going to do without a Comfey, and it looks like just fine in the hands of Trainer.
Well, that's the thing, right? You saw a Nemo coming in and immediately sussed out by Trainer, right? As soon as they got into vision, they tried to get in the bush to jump them after the score, but no. Zoroark immediately engages in, catches them, takes the initiative there, and makes it an easy knockout the other way.
Anemo, level 10.5 right now, getting close to the side of Luminosity Gaming, but they have a lot there. They have the Zoroark almost 12. They have Overlord just hitting over. No, sorry, that's Curious who just hit 11. Overlord, 11.5 as well. The Assault on this bottom goal zone, moving in with the Fire Punch, seeing what they can make happen. They're going to try to break it right now. Big time Solar Beam. Overheat helps pick up a KO. Blaziken takes one. Moving forward here onto Tempo. Another goes down, this time to Armarouge, but they're caught by Zinus.
But Zinus repositioning to get the Solar Beam for the knockout allowed that goal zone to be closed out, Spraggles, and I think if you're Luminosity Gaming, you're feeling okay with that. It's not the ideal exchange, but you're still there. Now they're putting tons of pressure on. Otter forcing out the Unite, and they're gonna move through. Can they cash it in? Overlord's looking for some more punches. Everybody's low. This is Peru's moment. You got to make it happen. Oh no, they either cleansed or duffed the Unite move. Didn't hit the broadside of a barn. If you remember, we burned it down yesterday. And now Curious is fire spinning their way up the track, and they get a Snorlax for all that effort.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're able to get the objective. They put a lot of pressure on Luminosity. That Psyduck Unite move actually making it really hard for LG to fight there. But you're right. Once again, Ceruledge Unite threading the needle perfectly. Looks like it missed every member of Luminosity there. They're definitely going to have another one, possibly two more in this match, but that Unite move, unlike Blaziken stance switching or a power nap, it can easily miss and provide no value at all.
And no value is exactly what it went for, just like the number of times they've beat Luminosity Gaming, which is none. 3 minutes, 36 seconds on the clock. We're starting to rip this Regieleki. Counter scoring is the duck. They're able to be preventing the score. We're going to freeze them down. Curious is there to close the door. Tempo is trying to flank. They see Otter. Otter sees them, puts them in the bushes, try to freeze them down. Boosted Auto eaten by Otter. On the backside is Overlord. They're looking for a pincer maneuver. But now they're looking to see if this Regieleki is going to go in. Cut off by the tank Lapras. And good Unite by Tempo. Can they actually get a KO? They do. Finally, the support Suicune goes down. But that's not a type of target you want at this point in the game.
No, I mean, you're expending a lot of resources for it, right? They had to use a Unite move from Zarina. They do finally get it, and there's no question it's been one of the most difficult things for them to deal with. The amount of stuns, slows, and freezes that Suicune is able to output has just been impossible for Peru to get through and also win some of these bigger fights. Level-wise, things are looking amazing here for Luminosity Gaming, but Peru, not far behind. 13 on Ceruledge, 13 on Zarina. Gonna need to move around the map, get some wild Pokemon experience so that they can charge up that Unite move, but they are walking into Rayquaza, 100 points down, but pretty even fight-wise, and look at them score top.
Yeah, they're giving up this objective and trying to match up these points here, and they're able to square up the lead a little bit. About 51 points separate these two squads as we have 15 seconds till Rayquaza.
That's right, Ray is about to hit the map here, and we're going to see how Peru wants to play this. They are behind. Luminosity is well aware of that, so they're going to need to be the ones to make a play. But LG likes to take these opportunities to catch their opponents and start a big fight. The question is, how do they want to do it? They move in with Snorlax and then pull them back with a Blaze Kick from Blaziken here. We're going to see how they want to start this engagement. Nice little Solar Beam, chips Overlord a bit. Slash getting caught a little there by the Psychic, but an easy block. Deals with a lot of that damage as you have Peru Unite sneaking around in the tall grass here, and Overlord might get caught right now.
Oh, they're putting the pressure on. Nice readjustment. Overheat is there. Pressure put on Ceruledge Unite back the other way. Overlord's so low, they're kept standing. Tempo goes to Unite on Trainer, but here comes the power nap. Suicune Unite back the other way, and it's Anemo that goes down first. Now we're putting the pressure on, and you gotta feel like not getting Overlord there is a critical mistake.
Wow, shocking that they weren't able to catch him there. Two members of Peru went for it. not able to make it happen. Zarina down right now. That's 2 members down. Luminosity Gaming is pushing forward.
Though Otter is there, Whirlpool put it down. Psyduck tries to wrap them up. The Mew Unite is going to give them in the mist, and they're going to be able to retreat here as we're looking for some resets. Overlord pretends to go back, stays in the pocket for just a second.
Here we go. Overlord looking for their moment right here. Slash moves in, big time power nap. They're going for the KO and they take it right away.
Now they're going to have to be on the hunt here. Draken tries to step up. Kyrios is getting really low. Heavy slam cover. Block is out. Can Kyrios get behind it? Tons of pressure on Kea. And now we're going and split scoring. Luminosity is going to start stressing this thing in different directions. Is it Rayquaza? Is it stopping scores? Doesn't matter. Luminosity sees the finish line in sight here in game 1.
Here we go. 30 seconds left on the clock. Peru is behind. Their only hope would be to peel off and score or possibly get Ray. But look at this. More points in the home goal zone. Overlord able to score there due to that beautiful Fate Shadow Claw combo. The knockups from Shadow Claw slowed them down just enough to let the score happen. It was probably over, but that's all she wrote. Beautiful plays there by Luminosity in game 1.
Very well executed. Another game where unfortunately it didn't feel particularly close.
Nope.
It was just Luminosity doing their thing, taking more and more and more on the map to the point where Peru found themselves with a very small window within which to work, and they couldn't quite get anything done. That being said, and I hope we see it again, that failed catch on Overlord when they position themselves so well is going to be biting them in the butt for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge moment, right? We saw the eject button play at Zinus right there looking for the KO. Moving in for this fight, this is after the failed catch had already happened. You have LG peeling off to score at the tier 2s on the side of Peru. Kyrios in a little bit of trouble right here, but Armor is just able to buy so much time that there isn't much that Peru can do.
No, exactly right. And that's kind of been the story of Armarouge all weekend long, and why we're seeing it chosen more and more. Not only is it an offensive threat, again, when you start thinking of those offensive threats, how can it sustain itself? And here you have that beautiful play by Overlord to allow the points to go in and